Look, you can have the best product, the best service in the world, but if nobody knows about it, nobody's gonna buy it. If nobody's buying it, it's not a good business. So we have to learn as business owners, as salesmen, as entrepreneurs, how to create interest around our product and service, no matter where we are, no matter who we're with, where we're going, something that we can do to create interest, conversation, so that we can begin to find their need and introduce their need to our product and service so that we can close the sale, so that we can offer our product and offer our service, right? So something that really helps you to be able to do that is to learn how to give an elevator pitch. So an elevator pitch is just you being able to pitch your service, to be able to pitch your idea, your product in a short period of time. You know, the time that it takes for you to push the button, for the doors to close, for you to go up 1 to 5 floors, maybe you have that much time, you know, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute to be able to pitch the idea to create interest around your product and service. And that's the whole objective, that's the whole goal of having an elevator pitch, is to create interest. Because when you have their interest, when they're interested in what you are selling, what you're talking about, that begins to convert into an offer, that begins to convert into sales, right? So when you can make the offer, you're not gonna make the offer if you haven't even created interest. You have to learn how to organically, naturally begin to create conversation with somebody around you very quickly to be able to build trust, to find their need and introduce your product and service to their need. What are the elements that will make you have an effective elevator pitch, right? So here's 2 categories, 2 parts to this elevator pitch. 1 is your presence, 2 is your speech. Your presence and your speech, how you are being in your presence, and then what you are saying, right? So that's the words that you're saying, but this is the presence that you have. So what do I mean when I talk about presence? I'm talking about your face, I'm talking about your energy, your attitude, I'm talking about your delivery. Your face is gonna, really determine if they're gonna trust you or be suspicious with you or kind of, second guess, or what is this person about? The face that you have on, the expression that you have on, the energy, the attitude that you're putting out, that's gonna either close doors or open doors. So your presence matters a lot when you want to do your elevator pitch, right? So if you want to get this person to trust you, if you want to get this person to feel safe around you, to feel comfortable around you, what kind of facial expression should you have? Right? Should you be like this? Should you be like this? No, you want to have a friendly, approachable face, right? That's going to matter a lot. So your face matters in your presence. How about your energy and your attitude? So if you're going to be talking about, a product and service and you're not excited about it, you're not passionate about it, you're not like intensely like, wow, like I love this product, it's going to help you. Like if you don't have faith and belief, conviction in what you're saying, if you don't have that kind of energy and attitude, do you think they're going to trust that you really believe in it? Do you think that they're gonna feel comfortable in buying from you? It's gonna really break connection there, right? It's gonna break trust. So we need to have the right face on and also have the right attitude and the right energy when you're approaching somebody, when you wanna share what your product is, when you wanna start this conversation around your service so you can start to do your elevator pitch, right? So what's another thing you need to do? Your delivery. So this is the part of your presence too. It's not just what you say, which we're gonna come over here, we're gonna structure that, but it's about how you say it. It's about, what kind of movement, what kind of body language are you doing when you're delivering the message, because that's a part of your presence. That's a part of them remembering you. That's a part of you engaging them and getting them to anticipate, oh, what is he gonna say next? Because you can deliver a message, right? So those are the 3 things when it comes to your presence that you want to get set up when you're going to do an elevator pitch. This is something that you just are doing quickly and as you are going, because you're always, especially when you're a business owner, especially when you're a salesperson, you have to generate those leads, right? So everybody is a possible recruit, or everybody is a possible, client or customer, right? So we have to learn how to naturally, organically start conversations, right? Build trust and then get ready to plug in your elevator pitch there. So a big part of you being able to get people to feel safe around you, to be able to build that trust so they can open up, is you need to have the right face, you need to have the right energy and the right attitude, and work on your delivery when you're talking to people so that you engage them. Now let's get to structuring the actual elevator pitch for yourself, okay? So this is something you're gonna have to get a paper and a pencil, something to write with, something to write on, so that you can start to do this exercise so that you can form for yourself a very simple, practical, powerful elevator pitch so that you can use to create interest, because that's the purpose. So here are 3 things when it comes to you creating your elevator pitch. Number 1, be concise. Number 2, write it down. Number 3, practice, right? You have to practice this. This is something you have to polish. You have to get comfortable. You have to feel, convicted and certain about what you're saying, because that's going to really impact if they trust you, if they feel like you're actually an expert in what you're saying, so that they can really follow and get persuaded by you, right? So be concise means like 30 seconds to 1 minute. You want to be able to create interest with your elevator pitch within 30 seconds to a minute, something very fast, right? So how are you going to do that? So you need to write it down. You're going to focus on the selling points. What are the selling points? Those things that it's what's in it for them, right? How is, your service, your product going to make something convenient? How is it going to bring certainty or security into their life? How is it going to bring growth or increase into their life? How is it going to add value into their life, into their future, into, those that they love, into, you need to share what's in it for them. That's this part. That's you writing it down and focusing on some key selling points of your product or your service. These benefits are tied to what, the problem that it's going to solve for them, right? The convenience that it's going to bring for them, like the need that it's going to meet for them. Like it's going to focus on that. Those are your key selling points. So begin to write those out. Now you begin to structure your few sentences, right? Because it's 30 seconds to 1 minute. So it's just a few sentences where you start to explain, who am I? You say your name, what you do, that's what you're doing, what your business is, what your new project is, however you want to say that. You need to be, very intelligent with your words there, right? To where it's not like so salesy or so structured, but something organic and that connects and gets their interest, right? Because that's the whole goal here. That's the whole objective. So it's you being able to put those in a few sentences. Who am I? What do I do? And what's in it for them? That's the key part, right? So you need to, in that conversation, you're finding what their needs are, what's important to them, so that you can begin to introduce their needs, their wants, what's important to them to your product and service, so that you can, that's where you can make a sale, right? So this is where you need to write down your key points there, write it into a sentence form of who am I, what do I do, what's in it for them, right? So you can create that conversation. That's the goal, to create interest, to create a conversation, so that you can end up making an offer and closing, right? Now we need to get to the last part, is where you need to practice it. So now that you have it written down, you can make like a little script, and you can adjust it as you go, so don't worry. But what you do is you begin to read it out loud. Look at yourself in the mirror as you're reading it out loud. Look at yourself, hear yourself, kind of go through that motion. The next thing you do is you start to record yourself on the audio, right? Listen to your those things those fillers that you put in, and you don't realize it until you actually listen to yourself. Those things that you're like, oh, I sound like that, or I say like that. That's good to hear that. It's good to feel that, so you can make those changes, you can adjust. Maybe you're being too repetitive. Maybe you're going over the same thing, over explaining yourself. You'll be able to hear yourself when you record yourself and listen, right? So then you can begin to polish yourself and record yourself again. Then you take it to another level, where you record yourself on a video. So you're not just listening to yourself, but you want to see what kind of movements you make. Maybe you make a nervous, or you just kind of have like a rhythm when you're talking. There's a lot of things that we do that we are not conscious of that we're doing. So it's good to be able to see ourselves and be like, wow, when I do that, it's a little distracting. Or when I do that, I come off in a way where I don't want to come off. Or it's, something that's not in agreement with what I'm saying. And whatever it is, you begin to see yourself, so you can make those adjustments. So you can polish your presentation for your elevator pitch, right? So that's how you're going to do the next part. So that's how you begin to practice, because that's what it takes. You need to be concise, 30 seconds to a minute. Write it down, get down your key selling points, put it into some very simple sentences. Who am I? What do I do? What's in it for them? And begin to practice it. Practice it in the mirror, practice it with your audio, practice with your video. You combine your presence with your speech into a quick elevator pitch. You create connection, you create trust, you make the offer, you make the sale.